Coverage of the 2018 TechCrunch Disrupt is brought to you by Galvanize TV.
I'm Derek Rodriguez with Galvanize TV, and we're covering TechCrunch Disrupt. I'm here with the founder of Wingly. Could you please talk to us about what you guys are doing?
Nice to meet you. I'm Bertrand. So with Wingly, we are a flight sharing platform. What we do is we connect private pilot and passenger so that they can share the cost of a flight. Today we are launched in Europe. We are a bit like carpooling, but for little planes. The idea is that on one side, you have private pilot who often fly with empty seats. It's about 10 million empty seats that fly above our head each year in Europe, same amount in the US.
Yeah.
And the pilot, they want to fly more. It's an expensive hobby, about $200 per hour. If they can cut the cost by 2, they fly 2 times more, they are happy.
Yeah.
On the other side, you have people like you and I, who think private aviation is reserved to an elite, the jet set that is very expensive. Well, we want to break that cliche and democratize general aviation.
Yep.
Today, we are more on the leisure and tourism market. So, for example, in San Francisco Bay, it would be to make a tour around the bay. You take off from Palo Alto Airport in a little plane like that.
Yep.
You admire Golden Gate, the bay and everything, or to spend the day or the weekend in Napa Valley or Lake Tahoe.
Yeah.
For about $50 to $200. So it's very cheap, and that's what we want to show, that private aviation shouldn't be reserved to Fortune 500.
Yeah. I love the need you're covering and you're making it affordable. You talked about 10 million open seats. How much of a loss is that?
Well, today, those 10 million empty seats represent a huge loss. Actually, it's more an opportunity that is not used. It's like carpooling today that is working very well in Europe.
Yep.
It's empty seats that should feed a need. And today that's what we are doing. And thanks to that, we are bringing private aviation to the digital era. Today it's also a very traditional industry. Little planes, little air clubs, they haven't come in the digital world. So that's what we are trying to do.
And it sounds like you're from Europe and very proud about the startup communities that are currently being cultivated in Europe. Can you talk to us about France and what's being built out there currently and being a part of that market?
Yes, with pleasure. So the startup scene in Europe has a big growth, is rising clearly. London is probably the biggest scene, then you have Paris and Berlin. On our side we are based in Paris, but we also were incubated for a semester in Berlin.
Nice.
The scene is perhaps still a bit lagging back to the Silicon Valley, of course, but the fundings are improving a lot. We already raised 2 rounds. It wasn't an issue for us, first with business angel, the second round with business angel and a VC fund. So I think the scene is doing quite good. We also had lots of help. For example, in France, we have the Public Bank of Investment, who each time we raised some funds, well, they doubled it with some debt that we wouldn't have been able to raise with classic banks.
Yep.
So that is a great help we have in France.
Well, congratulations on your rounds of investment. Do you have any company milestones or things coming up to share with our startup communities?
Well, today what we've achieved is more than 10,000 flights that we done on Wingly. That was this summer, and that was a big milestone. Also, we have the milestone of having a clear regulation across all of Europe. That was a big milestone because, as you can guess, at the beginning, there were some polemics around is it commercial or not?
Yeah.
Is it like Uber against the taxi? Is it like Wingly against the big airlines? Actually, today, it's illegal in the US. A startup tried to launch it 3 years ago. They were incubated at the Y Combinator, and they got shut down by the Federal Aviation Authority because of pressure from the charter airlines who saw it as a threat, like Uber against the taxi. So that's why today we are studying carefully also the American market, the US market, because it will open, it's just a matter of time.
Sure, well, that makes sense. Thanks for explaining that. Do you have any advice to share with entrepreneurs, founders, startups in our communities?
Well, one advice for sure was don't be afraid to talk about your idea. Like you think I have a revolutionizing idea, I need to keep it myself, otherwise somebody is going to steal it to me. Well, clearly not. You have to get as many feedback as possible.
Yeah.
On our side, it helped us a lot at the beginning in the pilot community to understand the market, to to understand exactly where we need to go. Otherwise, we would have probably not gone in the right direction. And the other advice is start as early as possible to confront to the market and not build a product for so long and business plan for so long. Confront yourself to the market as fast as possible.
Well, congratulations on going from ideation to 10,000. It's
Thanks a
amazing.
lot.
Yeah. I'm Derek Rodriguez with Galvanize TV.